SportsEdge.com.
We are the champions.
Download now. SportsEdge.com.
Goodwin Insurance Agency and Woodall Agency have great news. Effective January 1st, they have joined forces to provide even more options for all your insurance needs. Together, they provide the best prices and coverage from top-rated insurance companies and insure all lines of insurance. See Tori Hammett or Fred Foltz or go to insurewithgoodwin.com for more information. Don't pay too much for your insurance. Let them shop for you and save today.
Have you been to Big Deal Store yet? Go to WPKYonline.com and click on Loyal Listener Big Deals. The other day, I redeemed a gift certificate on my smartphone. It was so easy. Thanks to Loyal Listener Big Deals, I found new places to eat, have fun, take the family out, and get my car fixed. With Loyal Listener Big Deals, you can save money and try new businesses. Go to WPKYonline.com. But you better hurry. You never know how long each deal will last.
July is a special month at Cozy Living Interiors and Boutique. It's their anniversary month. Stop in and register for your chance to win a beautiful sofa. It's just their way of saying thank you to their customers. Hab, Pam, and Jake appreciate your business all year long. You're simply amazing. Stop in and take advantage of great anniversary specials throughout the store. And on Friday, July the 30th, WPKY will be live from 3 to 5 and will announce the winner of the sofa. Cozy Living Interiors and Boutique, everything a home should be.
Continental Mills, makers of Krusty's brand baking mixes, is looking for individuals to join them as they enhance people's lives through the power of food. They have immediate openings for full-time night shift packaging support and packaging operator positions. Enjoy a comprehensive benefits package and quarterly bonuses while working in a climate-controlled, clean environment with a workforce that's made up of talented, motivated people. Be on your way to a better job today and apply online at continentalmills.com.
When my wife was alive, she always shopped at Hancock's. I still do, but after my fall, I'm not getting around so good. I called Mallory at the store and she had her employees deliver my groceries to my house. Now, who does that anymore? Hancock's Neighborhood Market. That's who. Mallory took time to listen to me. Now, every week they deliver my groceries.
Hancock's, we make time for you.
Hancock's Neighborhood Market, delightfully delicious.
It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
Good morning, everyone. The Sideline Report is on the air from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton, the WPKY studios. Todd Griffin in the studios with you this morning, and joining us on the show is Caldwell County High School Athletic Director Jeff Riley. And Jeff, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Busy time for Caldwell County High School.
Busy time, it is. We're getting geared up and getting going, and practices are underway, and busy time for the athletic director getting his feet wet. So.
We're also going to be joined this morning by Caldwell County girls soccer head coach Rhett Miller. So another busy show lined up for you. Stay with us as we continue here on the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Need cash fast? Get the money you need. Call ABC Finance now.
It seems like everyone is going on vacation except you. There's nothing you'd love more than to escape with your family for a few days.
Don't let money worry stop you. Visit ABC Finance.
Hi, this is Jody Lamb at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
And this is Todd Morse at the Hopkinsville location.
We can help you take that family vacation you've been dreaming about.
At ABC Finance, we provide loans up to $15,000.
We are locally owned and staffed, and decisions are made quickly, usually within an hour.
No appointment is needed. Walk-ins are welcome.
You can even give us a call and we will take your application over the phone.
Or you can apply online at abcfinanceonline.com.
And like us on Facebook.
ABC Finance in Hopkinsville on Fort Campbell Boulevard next to O'Charlie's and in Princeton Plaza. ABC Finance. All loans subject to normal credit approval.
They say variety is the spice of life. We all want choices. Men and women want to pick what they want. When it's time to select that special truck, Trice Hughes in Princeton has the variety. 3 brands to choose from: Chevrolet, GMC, and Ram. Whether you're a farmer, whether you're pulling a camper with your favorite person, or whether you just want to drive a truck, Trice Hughes in Princeton has your truck. Stop by and pick out your truck today.
Find them on Highway 91 North Princeton or at tricehughes.com.
Enter to win a $600 gift card from Herb Hayes Furniture in their 60th anniversary giveaway. Enter today at WPKYOnline.com. Contest ends August 1st. Also, be sure to shop Herb Hayes Furniture for Big Diamond Jubilee savings.
Get ready for back to school with Health First Community Health Center, offering physicals, immunizations, ADHD treatment, and well child, sick child visits. At Health First, we offer affordable, quality health care for the entire family. We accept K-CHIP, Medicaid, Medicare, and all major commercial insurance. A discount program is available based on income and household size. Call today to make your appointment at 1-877-667-7017.
Hi, this is Kelly Martin of Pennyroyal Hospice, and we are proud to be a part of the greatest comeback of all time.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Caldwell County High School Athletic Director Jeff Riley is in the studio with us. And joining us on the phone now, live from Caldwell County Lady Tiger soccer practice, is Lady Tiger head coach Rhett Miller. And Rhett, good morning. Thank you for coming on the show this morning.
Well, good morning. Good morning. I'm at practice on the field right now, but happy to talk to you.
Yeah, that's great, though, because we're getting like a first-hand report here. And how are things looking for the Lady Tigers?
Well, I tell you what, I'm at this point, I'm extremely pleased with what I'm seeing out of most of these girls, and I've got some interesting dynamics going on right now. So probably one of the first time I've ever had some good dynamics, these types of dynamics going on in practice, and I'm excited about it all the way around.
Well, after all the COVID stuff last year, are things back to normal more this year as far as practice goes?
Practice is a little better. I think the logistics of people being quarantined and the idea that if somebody could test positive, that's an issue right now. And but I'm not coaching in a mask right now, which I love. And but as far as the girls go, we're still taking breaks 6 feet apart. We're still trying to stay somewhat in groups. We're trying to do things in a way that if somebody tests positive, we don't have to quarantine anybody. So as of now, yeah, it's better, but it's certainly not back to normal.
Well, do you find it's tougher to yell at people with a mask on?
It doesn't matter if I have a mask on or not. My voice is what it is.
Well, what are you guys working on right now as far as getting ready for the season?
Well, we have focused on I've kind of gone back and rehashed. Every year I have a theme. And when we went to camp and we came to camp this year, I just rehashed all the themes that I had over the last year and then introduced our new theme, which our new theme right now is want the ball. And so when we come to practice and we're talking about how to want the ball, what it means to want the ball, and that mindset that we're in right now with want the ball has really had some good dividends. And I've been pleased with what the girls are doing with it, and I like it.
Well, you guys had a little trouble scoring last year, but otherwise had a pretty good season. What do you do to try to fix that?
Well, I've completely changed our formation. We're going to miss Kaylee McEnany as a scoring threat, and but we've still got Kendall. We've got Kendall Boyd, and we've got a really surprise player right now in Mariah Merritt, who had no varsity time last year at all, but has really come on, ended up starting the Bluegrass games, and ended up scoring 3 goals in the first game. So that's been a big surprise. Every coach likes those surprises. So
yeah, that's
going to help. That's going to change things a little bit, I think. She continues to improve every day, and she's naturally ridiculously fast. And naturally ridiculously fast is something I cannot coach. So that really helps.
Well, that trip to the Bluegrass State Games for 3 contests, that has to be big as you try to figure out who needs to play where going into the season.
That's correct. And, when you look at going to the Bluegrass games, and what we did, just one second. You know what? If I'm going to talk about my girls, I'm going to let them come over here and listen to what I say.
Okay, that'll work.
You get a team interview today.
Yeah, we'll have the whole team on.
Let's go.
Kind of cool having Coach Rhett Miller on from practice. Again, Jeff Riley in the studio with us, and trying to get ready for the upcoming season. And Jeff, with the football team, you guys are still at it and had some 7-on-7 games and some scrimmages coming up. So it's just like we said when we came on, it's a busy time.
Yeah, everything's getting geared up. I think us and the volleyball team's rolling and the boys soccer team's going. So golf. I think golf has a match or has something
Friday,
going on this weekend. Yeah. So everybody's getting going. So here in the next couple of weeks,
guys.
it'll be full tilt.
All right, Rhett, you back with us?
If we want to talk about the Bluegrass games, we'll talk about the Bluegrass games. I want them to hear everything I say.
Yeah, go ahead. Like I said, that's a great chance for people to kind of show that, hey, I want to play.
Yeah, what we learned a whole lot at the Bluegrass games, and I've said it multiple times, both to the girls and in other interviews, is that there was a whole lot of who wanted to play, who didn't, who had the heart to play, and who didn't. There's a whole lot of people that were surprises in both directions, and we got to see what we had. The Bluegrass games to me was exactly perfect for what I want. I love going there and winning one game, and I love losing two games because what that meant, those two teams were definitely better than us, and we got to play good, strong competition and see what we did early against good, strong competition, and see what we have to work on and work with to be able to win those games in the future. We don't care if we win or lose Bluegrass games. We care if we get better. That's why we're there.
Well, and you have a couple of scrimmages coming up next week, so another chance to kind of look at some people.
And again, probably, I don't know a lot about Owensboro. When we play them on Tuesday, I suspect they'll be quite a bit weaker than Murray, but we play Murray on Thursday, and they're extremely strong, maybe one of the better teams in Western Kentucky this year. So that'll be a huge test for us that we can see. Now, Murray's in trouble right now. They're in quarantine. They're not out of quarantine until the 3rd. So they're not even practicing right now, so they're going to be a little rusty. Hopefully we can capitalize on that and see what we can do to take home a win in the scrimmage.
Well, how close are you to knowing your starting lineup for this season?
I'm going to repeat that question so that the girls heard you.
Okay.
The question is, how close am I to solidifying a starting lineup? And the answer is we are very far away. And I think these girls know that. I think for the first half of the season, I think our starting lineup is going to change multiple times. I think that when somebody has two good practices in a row, they're going to end up in the starting lineup. The girls know this. I've told them it multiple times. I've got 22 girls on the varsity roster right now. I wouldn't mind starting any of those 22 right now. And that is a great place to be because that means if you have a bad practice, you might be sitting for a while. If you have a good practice, you might be playing for a while. So the competition level is starting to big time go up in practices, and the accountability to yourself and to how you play has really started to go up with these girls.
Well, it's always good to have those extra players because typically a Caldwell County team or any smaller school, you don't have the numbers to go up against bigger schools. That's usually where they get you is that numbers game.
Generally, when you're playing a bigger school and they've got 28 people on the roster and 24 of them can start, we're in trouble. Because they've got the type of skill, and they don't lose anything when they sub. We haven't been in that position very often, but we're a lot more in that position this year than we've ever been before when I can put the 12th, 13th, 14th, 22nd player on the field, and I haven't lost much. That's huge.
Yeah, that's always a big thing. Even back in the day when the Lady Tigers were winning regional championships, you'd always run into a Marshall County, and, you could match them talent-wise, but like you say, they're running people in and out the whole game, and the Lady Tigers have 2 or 3 subs, and eventually that catches up with you.
And then what you find is in those type of competitive games, the team that has the most subs that are quality are the ones that win, and they don't win it until the fourth quarter. That's where they get you. You're right.
Looking ahead to district tournament play this year, or just district play overall, looks like Madisonville North Hopkins, as always, right there to be the team to beat, but how do you kind of see the district chase this year?
Well, of course, Madisonville North is the top team in the district. And I've talked to John Titchener 2 or 3 times already this season. We've texted all during the Bluegrass games, and he seems to think he's better this year than he was last year. And, of course, my immediate response to that was great, with a big word, sarcasm beside it, and that's what I wanted to hear, is that you're better. But, of course, they're going to be better because Cameron's back. Cameron LaGrange, probably one of the better players in Western Kentucky. She's a senior this year. She was out all year last year with an ACL tear, but she's a fantastic player, and she's going to score goals. I mean, she's going to score goals against us. We have to score more.
Well, you guys actually got them over there last year during the regular season.
We did. We beat them in PKs last year in the regular season, and the big win for us. I was proud of what the girls were able to do, and then we faltered to them at the end of the season in the district tournament. But, getting one win is good, but getting 2 wins is better.
Well, you did mention earlier that you lost some key players from last year, but overall, what's kind of the state of the Lady Tiger soccer program right now?
Well, if you'd have told me last year when we finished the season that we would be, I'm kind of in the same mode right now, and this will be shocking to everybody's listening. If anybody's listening just from last year, I think we're going to be better this year than we were last year. I really do. I think the way these girls are moving and wanting the ball and passing and one touching and two touching and the skill level, I think we're going to be better than we were last year. I think we have overall speed. It's a little bit more stronger than we had before. I think we have better touches. I think we have people that want to score. I think we have some things that's going to make us a better team this year.
Well,
I'm thrilled by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it almost seems weird this year, though, because last year everything was kind of delayed, and here you are already, pretty deep into practice. You've got scrimmages next week, and, the regular season seems like it's almost on top of us.
Yeah, regular season is right around the corner. 2 games next week, and then we start. So, and not only do we just start, we start with 3 games in the first week.
Yeah, and
I think that one of our toughest competitors, we're going to see them at least 2 times and maybe 3. I think Lyon County is going to be one of our tougher competitors this year. They've got 3 girls that are just strong. It's just that simple. They're going to be an offensive threat no matter who they play, and we'll have to figure out a way to stop them.
Yeah, Lyon County is going to be really good on the offensive end. They have to replace some people on defense, so they may be looking, like you said earlier, having to outscore people this year.
Well, they did that last year too, though. So
yeah.
That's nothing new. Last year they just had a strong offense and they just outscored everybody. But in soccer, you score 2 or 3 goals and everybody starts to lay down and die. And that's what happened a lot of times in the teams they played. But their schedule wasn't quite the schedule we had either, and that's the way we wanted.
Well, one other thing I want to ask you about before we let you go and get back to practice, the disc golf course over at Northside Baptist Church. We did a story and interview on that last week, but if anybody missed that, I want to give you a chance now to tell us all about that again.
Oh, well, this is an interview about soccer, but I'll throw it out there anyway. Sure. Yeah, we've got a new disc golf course over at Northside, and ever since when you did the article and a couple others did the article, I'm going to meet with another group today to do an article on it. Yeah, it's getting used more. More people are out there, and that's what we want. So I'm excited about it. If you like to play disc golf or you just want to just come out there and have fun, come on out to Northside. We got a nice disc golf course there. Just to come throw.
Yeah, we've actually got video and stories still up over at yoursportsedge.com if you want to check that out. And like you say, it's there and anybody can use it anytime and no charge. And, I think that's just a great addition to the community.
That's right.
Well, anything else you want to add on your soccer team?
No, I think that we're just always, I think every one of these girls are excited about what's coming up and the way we're playing. So, if you haven't come to watch the Lady Tigers play soccer any, we're playing Tuesday at home against Owensboro. That'll be our first game at home at Butler Field. So anybody that's listening, come on out. I don't know if we're going to charge. I don't really know. I'm not sure if it's going to be pay to get in or not. So just come, bring $5, and you don't have to use it. Great.
Well, the big question though, what do you guys have to do to have a successful season in 2021?
The overall success of these girls for this season, they could have a monumental season if they want to. If we get to where we're talking and moving and wanting the ball, we're going to have a very successful season. If we get to where we slow down and get lazy, we're going to get beat more than we should. So it's completely up to these girls that are sitting in front of me right now how that happened. It's completely up to some of them to be leaders and step up and guide everybody. And they have the talent, they have the skills, they have the speed to do a whole lot this season, and we're going to be excited to see what they do.
All right, good luck. Thanks for coming on this morning, and we'll let you get back to practice.
All right, thank you all. Goodbye.
That is Lady Tiger soccer coach Rhett Miller. Appreciate him joining us from soccer practice. Jeff, that turned out pretty neat.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I tell you what I like. I like the excitement in Coach Miller's voice. He's fired up. I like that.
Well, it's kind of that time of year, though. It's that time of year where everybody has, all the hopes and dreams are right in front of you, and everybody has those high hopes for the upcoming season.
Yeah, I've talked to Mr. Miller multiple times as the athletic director, and I know he's really high on his team, and he really feels good about it, and he likes the way that they're working. So he didn't just put that out there for good PR. That's how he feels this time, and I'm kind of fired up just listening to him talk. So that's pretty cool.
Well, I think it is going to be a good season for the Caldwell County High School fall sports teams. Somebody told me the other day that every time the football team looks like it might be just down a little bit or you have some questions about it, the team usually turns into a really good season, and everybody's talking later about, man, can't believe we won 9 games this year. So,
well, I hope that's the case, yeah.
But both soccer teams, I think, have pretty high hopes. Coach Tanner Reed thinks his boys' team will be much improved this year and maybe can challenge some people. And of course, volleyball is the defending second region champs, so you get to carry that all season.
Well, I think the boys soccer team had a pretty good weekend too at the Bluegrass Games, from what I've gathered. And then of course the volleyball team, man, they've set a pretty high standard. And Coach Kortner, I think he was a little concerned early, but he said as he gets into practice, he's becoming more comfortable with the kids, and I think they're getting some looks in. I think he feels pretty good about them being able to kind of maintain what they've established. So.
Well, I think the volleyball team is going to have to win in a different way this year. They lost some big, powerful people, and this year they'll have to play just a little differently to try to get things done.
You're probably right. I don't know enough to say. I do know that they're not nearly as tall as they were last year, so I'm sure that they'll get out there. I know they're working hard because I've stepped in practice a couple times, and they're doing their thing. So.
One of the cool things I thought last year for volleyball was getting to host a first-round state tournament game out here against McCracken County. I mean, it was cool for me because it's a whole lot shorter trip to the cab than it is, to
Lexington,
or wherever. But I guess my question, since you're a sports guy, does it mean more if you get to travel someplace, or would you rather get to play a big match like that at home?
Being a football guy in a playoff situation, what we get into, I would much rather play in my place than to travel. I mean, I guess if it's a championship game, the final game of a tournament, it's pretty cool to kind of be in a big arena in one of those high-profile places. But for an opening round in a tournament to get to play a big game against a fairly local foe, I think it'd be really fun to host that thing and be at home and give your home fans a chance to be there, and family members that can be there that couldn't necessarily be there if you had to travel, say, to Lexington or Richmond or somewhere.
So that was just kind of a neat thing I thought last year that kind of came out of COVID, where you couldn't travel as much and they were trying to cut down on exposure and everything, that a home match in the state tournament kind of fell in Caldwell County's lap.
Yeah, I think that there aren't very many positives that came from COVID, but that may be one of them.
Well, and that brought the trivia question last year. When was the last time Caldwell County hosted a state event? And I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah, because I will have no idea.
I'll give you a little time to think about it. But, well, actually, when Caldwell County won the girls golf state championship in 1977, I believe it was.
Yeah, that's the banner. That's the banner hanging up in the gym.
That was actually played at the Princeton Golf and Country Club.
Oh, right. That's what I would have guessed. I would have guessed golf. That's pretty good.
But
that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
History lesson for the day.
That's right.
Talking to Jeff Riley on the show today. Need to get to a break, though. We'll be back with more here on the Sideline Report after this on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Treasures Remembered Florist and Greenhouse.
From the Weather Edge Weather Center, heat advisory in effect today from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. for the entire listening area. Patchy fog this morning, otherwise sunshine with a high near 95 degrees. That heat index this afternoon topping out as high as 106. Mostly clear skies tonight. Overnight low down to 74 degrees. Slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm after midnight. Slight chance of shower or thunderstorms on Friday with a high near 90 degrees and partly sunny skies. Once again, a heat advisory in effect today. Sunshine with a high near 95.
They say variety is the spice of life. We all want choices. Men and women want to pick what they want. When it's time to select that special truck, Trice Hughes in Princeton has the variety. 3 brands to choose from: Chevrolet, GMC, and Ram. Whether you're a farmer, whether you're pulling a camper with your favorite person, or whether you just want to drive a truck, Trice Hughes in Princeton has your truck. Stop by and pick out your truck today.
Find them on Highway 91 North Princeton or at tricehughes.com.
Life is filled with moments. Moments we share with those we love, worry about, and strive to protect the most. At Woodman Life, we provide life insurance and retirement products to help protect you and your family so that you can enjoy all the moments to come.
This is Josh Ray, your local Woodman Life agent. Come see us at 1009 West Main Street or give us a call at 365-6111.
Certain eligibility and age restrictions apply. Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society, Omaha, Nebraska.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Again, thanks to Lady Tigers soccer coach Rhett Miller for coming on the show this morning live from practice. Again, Jeff, I thought that was a pretty cool deal. Actually, better than having him in the studio this morning. We got to check in with practice and get a little insight as to what the Lady Tigers had going on.
I think you stumbled on a new segment, man. Maybe you can get a mic'd up thing going or something. That'd be pretty neat.
Just going to start calling people at practice and say, hey, come on the show and let's talk for a little while.
Don't do it randomly, though. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I'd have to set that up ahead of time. You are one of the assistant football coaches. You're also the new athletic director at Caldwell County High School. So what's kind of the number one thing you're focused on right now as all the fall sports start to hit?
Well, as an athletic director, I'm just trying to get my head around all the things that it takes to be an athletic director. I know I've said this a couple times. I don't know how Miss Farmer or Coach Barnes had time to do anything else other than be an athletic director, and they both had full plate. So I'm slowly trying to figure this thing out. Right now, it is just kind of getting geared up for the fall. Getting referees lined up and learning the programming that we use to pay them, the arbiter thing, and selling program ads, and trying to figure out how we're going to do tickets, and then learning all the other ins and outs that it's going to take to try to be a decent athletic director. So.
Well, I was going to say that everybody probably realizes you have to kind of make sure all the ball games get going, but maybe people don't realize how much paperwork there is in that position.
Yeah, it's very administrative. I found that out. I know there's from purchase orders to transfer requests to getting stuff turned in. It's definitely an administrative thing, and I'm going to have to try to copy Kim Farmer's organizational skills and try to be as personable as David Barnes and do all those things that I think I remember making them successul. So I'm going to try to emulate them a little bit.
Even to the point of making sure that all the kids are eligible each game and each week so they can play.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm going to lean heavily on Waney, who has stayed with us to be the assistant athletic director, and he's probably going to do more than assisting in a lot of cases. So he is taking upon some of the eligibility roles and helping me out with administrative things along the way. So I trust him to have my back, and I hope he'll continue to do so.
Well, you kind of did a lot of this job, though, at the middle school before, right?
Yeah, it's similar, but I found out the high school is kind of like times 10. The magnifying glass is on you a little more, and then you have it's a lot more tedious from when I was at the middle school. I know Coach Gray's been at the middle school since I left and done a terrific job down there, and they've even added a couple sports, and he was kind of talking about how much it's expanded in the last couple of years. So it's growing. So this athletic deal is definitely getting a little bit bigger each year, I think.
It's funny because we kind of start the year with the busiest time, I think, in sports. Spring sports, there's a lot of those going on too, but somehow it always feels like the spring sports are more relaxed and laid back, whereas the fall sports seem to be more competitive and, you're fired up more somehow.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about it. If you ask a baseball player, they might feel a little bit different. But it is more of a laid back atmosphere. You're right. I think it's just you have the lull of the summertime, and people are kind of ready to kind of get back, and school is gearing up. And, one of the things that comes along with school starting is, high school sports starts back, and most people get pretty excited about that stuff. And so I think that's kind of how it feels. And, I'm excited. I'm excited to kind of get in and see these things and kind of experience this stuff. I don't have a lot of experience with a whole lot of stuff outside of football. So, kind of learning the ins and outs of, what it takes to have a decent volleyball match and, what I need to do to help the soccer team out is going to be a pretty big learning curve, but it's going to be pretty fun, I hope. So.
Well, and I'm guessing even season ticket sales and those kind of things are coming up?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we know we're going to do sales-wise is for individual ticket sales, we're going to keep Ticket Leap, which is kind of an online purchasing program that talking to the administration and everybody that had something to do with it last year, they all – one of the first things Ms. Farmer said was we got to keep Ticket Leap. So we're going to try to do that. But in addition to that, we're going to try to sell some fall and individual sport passes. And starting next month, we're going to send out our football chairbacks and try to get that going again and keep our fingers crossed that we don't have any attendance restrictions and this COVID thing doesn't kind of repeat itself. So that's the hope.
Well, that was kind of the next question. I think the Ticket Leap thing was kind of brought about by COVID last year. What are the guidelines this year? Have there been any discussions about maybe mask mandates for inside sports, which I guess would be volleyball?
Yeah.
But It's not something a lot of us like to think about, but it's something that might become a necessity.
I think so. We haven't gotten any guidance as of yesterday afternoon from the Athletic Association, and I don't know that the state's come out with anything. I checked my email before we came, so there's nothing new. So right as of this moment, we're kind of moving forward as if we can have full capacity, and we're going to try to operate that way until they tell us different. I think there's probably a chance that they'll ask you to mask indoors. The CDC recommended yesterday that everybody mask indoors, but it's not a have to mandate situation. I think it's a recommendation and choice. So we'll just kind of go and we'll follow suit of whatever the state wants us to do, and we'll try to do exactly what we did last year and put on the best event we can under the guidelines that were presented, and do our best for our kids and our families, and try to get the fans in. And we're going to try to do things the right way, and hopefully keeping our fingers crossed, maybe we won't get to that, and we'll be able to have a hopefully 2021 can be kind of a back to normal, or as possible normal you can with COVID.
Yeah, let's hope so for sure. Yeah. Well, even football practice, though, I remember going last year, and you've got the temperature checks, and everybody's wearing a mask, and you're only taking so many kids into the locker room at a time, and players are practicing in small pods, so you don't have a lot of interaction. So much better this year that you haven't had to do some of those things.
Yeah, we've had a lot of freedom. One of the things, so it really up until the last week or so, it's been almost normal, whereas kids can come and go out of the locker room as they please, and we haven't had to do a lot of symptom check stuff, and we've kind of advised our kids if they don't feel well to stay away, just common sense things. But since this the numbers have ramped up a little bit, and some local teams, not Caldwell County teams, but some teams in our area have been quarantined. Mr. Miller mentioned one. We've advised our coaches to kind of try to be proactive. There's no guidelines, but we all know what we did last year. So, yesterday in practice, Coach Barnes kind of put them in pods, and we're asking them to be quick in and out of the locker room. And so we're just going to have to try to, maybe we can get out ahead of it a little bit and dodge some bullets. So hopefully we can do some of those things. It's not to the point that it was last year, but hopefully we can kind of be proactive and stop a bunch of kids from getting quarantined from a positive test or something.
Well, we all understand why we had to do all the things last year that we did, but it was always kind of painful to watch parents try to figure out how they were going to watch their kids play, because there were some situations where you'd go some places and they just wouldn't allow more than one or two spectators per player.
Yeah, I hope we don't get to that point. I hope, especially in particular with our outdoor sports, I think it's pretty common knowledge now that it's not highly spread in outdoor contact. So hopefully we can be in a situation to where we can let our families in and kind of have open ticket sales and kind of get people in our venues and let them watch. So we haven't been asked to restrict yet. So I'm fingers crossed we're not going to be, and hopefully they'll let each school district kind of manage what they think's best. So.
Well, and I thought the KHSAA and everyone involved did a great job last year of trying to do everything the way you were supposed to. But at the same time, if you'd go to a football game and look up in the crowd, it kind of hurt not seeing that packed house, because, that's what fall sports are all about is, you go to that football game on Friday night and you just look up and there's a wall of fans up there.
Yeah, absolutely. The kids missed it. As coaches, we missed it. It was definitely a different atmosphere in a lot of games that you just, you don't have that buzz of the crowd sometimes, and that makes a difference. Hopefully we can get that buzz back a little bit this year, and I think I agree with you that the athletic association and the commissioner and everybody at the state level did everything that they can to ensure we were able to play. And it's still pretty heartbreaking to think about those kids in the spring a couple years ago that lost their chance to play, and it was a big deal to just get on the fields last year. So hopefully we can take what we've learned and apply that a little bit and build back to as close to normal as we can.
Yeah, the first big play this year, we're all going to jump because the crowd noise is going to be so loud.
Yeah.
We'll be like, what's that?
Yeah. I tease the kids all the time. I was like, you can't be quiet on the football field when you communicate because you're going to play in front of 85,000 fans. So you never know what it's going to be. So you can't keep secrets out there.
We're talking this morning with Jeff Riley, Caldwell County High School Athletic Director and also an assistant football coach. As far as football goes, you guys have gotten in quite a bit of 7-on-7 work. What did you guys kind of learn from those games?
Well, we learned we got better. I think I was sick on the first go-around, and I don't think Coach Barnes was real happy with the outcome. Not that anybody we're not concerned with winning 7-on-7 games, but we do want to compete and show effort and show improvement. I think last Friday at Murray State we saw that. I think our kids competed, and as far as the wins and losses, it wasn't a great outing in that aspect. But we don't worry about we don't call defensive coverages. We try to win 7-on-7 games. We try to play defense like we're going to play on Friday nights, and we try to run the offensive sets and stuff we're going to do on Friday nights. And sometimes that doesn't always bode well in trying to win a touch football game. But for us, I think we got better. We saw some improvement stuff. We saw some kids compete for balls. We saw a change in speed and a change in intensity. And some teams got physical with us, and we kind of responded and got physical back. And those are the things I think we took from that as positives. And I think we found a little something to build on. So hopefully from those things, we're not worried about 7-on-7 wins. We're worried about getting reps, and exactly what Coach Miller said about the Bluegrass games. That's how we feel about our 7-on-7 stuff. It's about us just coming out and getting better and throwing and catching and competing and getting off press coverage and doing those things, rallying to the ball and seeing things. And the speed of the game's a big deal. I think we have a lot of young kids that don't have a lot of varsity experience that are playing in key spots, and they've got to experience what it means to go against other varsity level speed, and that speed of the game is and I think we saw the difference in that from one 7-on-7 event to the next one. So
yeah, I thought even the quarterbacks looked a little more comfortable throwing the football that second time around. Oh yeah, just reps, and again, it's one thing to go against yourself, but you can't duplicate. We don't have. Our first team group of offensive skill guys are probably also going to be a big contributor in the secondary, so you don't have that same competition level. So, you're looking for that, and that's one of the values of 7-on-7 is you get to see the speed of another varsity level secondary, and I think you adjust to that, and I think they did a good job of that. And then just getting the ball in there and throwing it and working your mechanics and doing all those things are just super important, and you just kind of building towards the next Friday night there. Well, if I remember correctly, even when you guys had Elijah Sindelar and those guys, I don't remember ever winning a 7-on-7 event before.
I don't think we did. David Barnes didn't have the philosophy that winning 7-on-7 events were a big deal, and we kind of have carried that on. And Will has kind of the same deal. We just look at 7-on-7 as a scrimmage situation in which we're going to work on the things that we believe are going to help us be successful in the fall when we start playing 11-on-11 games. And, some teams don't have that philosophy. Sometimes coverage-wise, defensively, other teams are playing stuff that, we look at each other and say, well, if we saw this on 3rd and 3 in the regular season, we're going to run the football.
Right.
And, you just don't have that option in 7-on-7. So we try to work the things that, to us, it doesn't make sense to work a coverage that you're only going to use the first 2 weeks of the practice and never come back to. So,
well, and a big thing missing from 7-on-7 is obviously the lineman, and that looks to be a strength for you guys this season.
Yeah, we have a lot of experience back. I hope so. I hope we can kind of get it together. Or those kids work hard. One of the things about that lineman group is they're a close-knit group of kids. I mean, it's kind of it's kind of tough to break into those guys, but those guys have been playing together since the 3rd and 4th grade, and they're their own worst critic. I get after them sometimes, but then they get after each other a lot, and it's kind of it's been pretty fun coaching them. So they've just they've grown up and gotten better each year. So this year hopefully will kind of be the peak of that, and we can put together a pretty good offensive line and kind of help put together a pretty good offense. And same thing on defense. We got 3 senior returning starters back, and so I look for those guys to kind of be the anchor of the defense as we kind of get some young guys some experience behind them. So
we're talking with Jeff Riley on the show this morning. Need to get to another timeout here, but we'll be back with more after this on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Bella Marie Boutique.
From
From the Weather Edge Weather Center, heat advisory in effect today from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. for the entire listening area. Patchy fog this morning, otherwise sunshine with a high near 95 degrees. That heat index this afternoon topping out as high as 106. Mostly clear skies tonight. Overnight low down to 74 degrees. Slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm after midnight. Slight chance of shower or thunderstorms on Friday with a high near 90 degrees and partly sunny skies. Once again, a heat advisory in effect today. Sunshine with a high near 95.
Get your back-to-school shoes and accessories at Shoe Sensation in Princeton. You'll find great deals for your entire family. Shop brands like Hey Dude, Crocs, Adidas, Converse, Skechers, Vans, Under Armour, and more. Plus, you'll find an expanded selection of kids' shoes, athletics, and wide widths. Send your kids back to school in style. Visit Shoe Sensation in the Princeton Shopping Center today.
You can always expect great things at Planters Bank. When we say expect great things, what we're really saying is Planters Bank is here to provide the financial services you need. Planters Bank believes in the strength of our community and is a full-service financial institution. Our employees have a true passion for helping our neighbors, and it shows. See Jake Pepper and the rest of the Planters Bank staff at 208 North Jefferson. Planters Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
We are back on the Sideline Report at 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Talking this morning with Caldwell County High School Athletic Director Jeff Riley, and also talking some football. He is one of the assistant football coaches. So, Jeff, one thing we were just talking about there during the break is the weather, and thankfully you guys haven't really had to worry about the heat index too much this year until now, kind of.
Yeah, this week has made up for it a little bit, I think. So yeah, we've had to adjust some practice times, and we've been able to get out, but you can't get out in equipment once the heat index hits 100. So we've had some time just in no pads, just going on air and working technique stuff and getting some conditioning in and trying to work your eyes and do some visual stuff. And you can still throw and catch, you can still work your routes, you can still form tackle, you can still block without it being full speed. So we kind of are working on that mechanics of the game a little bit and getting some conditioning in, getting used to the heat, and then hopefully today, if we can get out a little bit later, we can get our shoulder pads back on and get a little something done there.
I just always think back to the guys that played 40 years ago or 50 years ago when they came out to practice, and I don't think anybody saying, "Hey guys, it's too hot out here," would ever have been an issue.
It wasn't been 50 years since I played, and I can't remember us ever not practicing because it was too hot. But times are different. I can't remember a day spending the whole day inside unless it was raining or. At some point you got out and you played in the heat and you did stuff, and some kids just don't do that nowadays. They find their entertainment inside, and it can be dangerous if you don't adhere to it. So we've got to, most kids aren't working in agriculture and they're not out, helping their dads on the farm or in construction or anything. Most kids are working, and when they work in air conditioned places, and it's just tough when the heat jumps up like this.
Yeah, we talked about it at a soccer practice earlier this week that air conditioning has kind of made us all a little susceptible to the heat. And I don't want to give up my air conditioning, but you have AC at home and it's in your vehicle and
right.
It's work and school, and when I went to school, I don't remember ever having air conditioning until I got to high school.
Oh yeah.
So when the old Butler building could get pretty toasty up on those top floors on some days, but you just turned the fans on and you sweated a little bit and just went on, so just kind of an interesting thing that.
It's just a change of times, I think, and it's tough on a kid who maybe they work they have a decent job and they work someplace where it's cool, or they work hard and they do things, but they just aren't out in the heat, and then when it goes from 85 to 95 and the humidity jumps up, it can zap you pretty quick. And even us old coaches out there running around, we're looking around at each other like, geez, guys, it's hot today.
Yeah.
So we experience that a little bit too. So, but we do what we're supposed to do. Mike takes care of us. He's a terrific guy, and he stays on top of the heat index. And, when kids, the thing is, if a kid comes to you now and says, "Hey, Coach, I don't feel very good," then you say, "Go get off your feet, go get a drink of water." Whereas I think if I had done that, I was scared to do that, to be honest with you, when I was playing. And So we've got to get to a point to where they can tell us how they feel. We can go get them taken care of, and we can get them better and get them back, and work. You can get your work in the next day or so, and just their health is more important than anything we're going to do anyway.
Looking ahead to next week, first scrimmage is here next Friday against Owensboro Catholic, and you guys have a couple of pretty tough little scrimmages set up.
Yeah, Coach Barnes does not shy away from competition. I was teasing him the other day whenever the whole conversation about the consolidation of Christian County schools, and I'm like, you think you're going to schedule those? And he just laughed, said, yeah, we probably will. So I don't know if he will or not, but no, we do have Owensboro Catholic's always a tough 2A team, and then Owensboro Senior is one of the best teams in the state, and they have the number one prospect in the state coming back, so they're going to be tough to handle. But that's again, just back to what Coach Miller said, it's the same deal. You want some competition early. You kind of can see where your holes are and what you need to work on, and so we'll definitely see that in these first couple scrimmages, and hopefully that'll prepare us for Christian County and kind of get us off to a good start.
There were some concerns earlier this summer about the field conditions out at Tiger Stadium. Are we ready to go for the first scrimmage here?
I'm going to tell you what, there's not a harder working person in our district than Will Brown, and he has been kicking tail out there on our fields, and him and Adam have done a tremendous job of getting our field ready. So the bare spots have grown in. It is green and flush, and I know Coach Dyer and Mr. Brown have been mowing it on the regular couple times a week. And if you had told me that it would look this good on July what is today, the 29th, compared to what it looked maybe on June the 29th, I would have said, well, they've done something, and they have done something. So it does. The field looks pretty good. So.
Well, it's almost tough on the one hand to wrap my mind around the fact that we've got a scrimmage next week and that the fall sports are starting, because again, we go back to last year and everything kind of got pushed back on us. And, this is more normal, but it almost feels like everything is kind of ramped up this year.
It is happy. It's fast and furious is what it feels like. It feels kind of like I know Mr. Lane and I were talking the other day about how, it just the school year feels like it's coming on in a mad pace, and we're like, well, we're just out of our routine. It's just we were used to it just wasn't that way when you're working from home and teaching from home, and your kids aren't in the building. That just changes the dynamic of things. This is kind of coming on hot and heavy. So I think I'm ready for it. I'm kind of ready for it to be back at normal. It feels like football season's around the corner, and I don't know that I ever felt that last year until we started playing.
Well, looking ahead to the season, looking at the schedule, it appears to me that Mayfield and Hopkinsville are both going to be pretty good.
Yeah, no doubt.
There's a couple of teams, Fort Campbell and Ballard Memorial, that are probably going to struggle a little bit. So maybe that's 2 wins.
We don't want to chalk them up yet.
I know you're a coach, and we can't do that, but those appear like they probably could be wins. So my take is the 6 games in the middle that aren't Hoptown and Mayfield and aren't Ballard and Fort Campbell, those games should all be a lot of fun this year.
Yeah, they're going to be hotly contested games, I think. I think they're going to be competitive. I think if you look at our schedule, I think Ballard's going to be better. I mean, I can't get a read on Fort Campbell because we just haven't seen, they haven't played in a year. You don't know. But Ballard's got a new coach, and we saw those kids at 7-on-7, and they were excited and flying around and making plays. So I think their excitement level's up, and that usually translates to a better feeling and a better season. They've got more kids out, I think, than they had last year, so they're going to be better. But then you start talking about, the non-district games, and people that are going to kind of continue the success that they've had. Union County's coming off a great year. Crittenden County's coming off a great year. Those teams are going to be tough. You start looking at got Madisonville, and then Christian County is going to be excited about putting together and trying to get a win coming off of a tough season. So we're going to have our hands full. So, but that's good. I mean, we want to go. You got to go compete, and you got to earn what you get. So.
Yeah, Ballard Memorial actually looked a whole lot better in the 7-on-7s, and again, we talked about you can't really tell everything from a 7-on-7. But when you look out there and see some skill position kids that can make plays, that's obviously an improvement from what they came up with.
When they had 10 or 12 or 15 kids, and couldn't really compete, and you kind of look at them and they're competing in 7-on-7, and they have some kids that you look like could do some things, and that's certainly good for them. I mean, I hate to see a a program kind of fall to the level to where they don't know if they're going to play or not, because I'm a big believer in football and sports in general and what it means for kids. So, and they fought their tails off. They didn't lose because of lack of effort, from us last year. They just got outmanned, and those kids played and played the whole year, and you you have to admire that.
Well, I was a little concerned that maybe they were headed to a point where they couldn't field a team anymore. But when you saw the kids they had out there, you're like, well, by the time you put some linemen with this group,
they should be able to go
they've made a turn.
Yeah. I mean, I guess from a competitive standpoint, you don't want your competition to get better, but from just a common sense standpoint, you hope that they can put some stuff together and keep their program going, because they've had a program for a long time, and their kids deserve a chance to play too.
Well, you want to beat other teams, but I don't think you want to see anybody struggle.
Yeah, you're right, and you can imagine, being in their position and how tough it is to try to get kids out and excited about something that that they need to do. And there are a few schools around that don't play football, and you don't want Ballard to have to give up what they've established. And so hopefully they can get it turned around and get it going.
Well, the big question, like I asked Red earlier, what do you guys have to do to be successful in 2021?
I think we're going to have to be in really good shape, because I don't know that we're going to be able to have full platoons. Kids are going to have to play some both ways. It looks like kind of coming into the season. And then we're going to have to do, what we're going to have to be physical. We're going to have to play great defense. I think especially early, it's going to take the offense. Traditionally, the offense takes a little while to get going, and when you have a limited experience in the skill spots, we're going to have to be very physical up front. We talked about how if the strength of the teams are going to be our offensive and defensive line, then they're going to have to really be the strength of the team and be physical and get after people. And I think if we leave our games, we look at it and we think we were the most physical team, I think we'll probably come out on the positive side of the scoreboard most of those times. So,
season's almost here.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting, man. I'm ready to go. I think the kids are ready to go. I think they're ready to kind of get in full gear and knock it around a little bit. So hopefully we'll have a chance to do that next Friday night.
Well, I appreciate you coming in and being on the show and talking sports, and especially a lot of football with us.
I always like to talk football, Todd. I do want to add, from an AD standpoint, if I can, before we close out, we're selling fall program ads, and I've gotten in contact with a lot of local folks, but most of those are renewals. So if anybody's interested in purchasing a fall sports program ad, I would like for them to give me a call at the high school, and we'll get you in there. And then we've got some personal ads out, and we've got a deadline of August the 4th on that stuff. So it's kind of rapidly closing in too. So there's my AD plug for the segment.
Good deal. Good luck to you guys this season.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me, man.
That is Caldwell County Athletic Director Jeff Riley, also an assistant football coach. And thanks to Rhett Miller, the Lady Tigers soccer coach, for joining us from soccer practice this morning. That was a lot of fun. That's going to wrap up the Sideline Report for this Thursday. This is Todd Griffin of WPKY Radio and YourSportsEdge.com. Thanks for joining us here on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
WPKY Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The economy grew at a solid but slower than expected pace during the second quarter of the year, according to the Commerce Department, and new weekly unemployment claims are down a bit, according to this morning's weekly report from the Labor Department.
We came in at 400,000. That is the week ending July 24th. We were only looking for 380,000. Continuing claims, 3.269 million. U.S. GDP, second quarter, 6.5%. We missed estimates.
Cheryl Castoni with Fox Business. Coronavirus cases are up in Tokyo, Japan, in the middle of the Summer Olympics.